want to repeat, we stand here on privilege. And today we are here to celebrate privilege. I guess we're a little bit charismatic. City privilege. I am privileged. I am privileged. When you understand privilege, we understand privilege in the context of politics, particularly South African politics. In South African politics, as we know, there are people who were privileged before us, and we were the ones who were underprivileged or not privileged, right? Today, in order to address, because what happens when there are people who are privileged and others are not, there is imbalance. Privilege brings about abundance. Privilege brings about provision. Privilege brings about favor. I want to go slowly with these things. It's things that we know, right? Because we are politically conscious. But I want you to hang on to every word that I say and think about it in spiritual terms, because that's what we are about. Privilege brings about abundance. That's what it does. Privilege brings about favor. Those who were privileged had favor. Wherever they went, they were treated with favor. They were treated with kindness. They were treated with exclusivity. That was the privilege. Whether you look at it from a racial perspective or even from a gender perspective, privilege brings about opportunities. That's what it does. Privilege brings about prominence. You become foremost. In other words, you are ahead of others. Amen. When there is consideration and you are on par with whoever you are competing with, privilege puts you ahead, even when you are equal to your counterpart. Sometimes privilege puts you ahead, even when you are behind your counterpart. That's what privilege does. And privilege gives about, when you talk about the concept of compound interest, in other words, because you had an early start, you are better off than somebody else who has a late start, because there's compound. The benefits of privilege are compounded in your life. I am privileged. And so there is compound in your life. There are certain things that have been built on, that have grown on, that you can tap into because you had an early start. When I look at Ipasiga, just deviating a little bit, I often get emotional, partly because it's a moment of reflection. But for those who might remember, those who are old enough to remember this and have been in the church long enough to remember, previously, Ipasiga in the church, I don't know if it happened to go on Kama branches, but I know Lankule Kona emission, it was the case. Lalingadliwa phambi kwabantu bonke. In other words, uma wawungamkeli Ipasiga, the service will end and then you will leave. Kusala bazokwamkela Ipasiga kuphela. Did it happen in every branch? No. Hey, kade naba privilege, kade ngibona Ipasiga. So, Emzinkonzo, Skula, Ipasiga was an exclusive thing. Lalit, I don't know whether it was law, a rule in the church, or it was ukhulula laba abafuna ukuyodla bakhuleka nempilo. I don't know, but inkonzo yaphela ivalwe uhlatshelelwe bese siyaphuma ke thina basale basibuka bazodla Ipasiga ke. Well, thina we were young, but those who were older who were supposed to be joining and would leave, and then kuvalwa iminyango. Kwakunenya kwanicabheza ukuthi kuvalwa iminyango. Now you know ukuthi ke okwenzeka ngale, it is sacred and I'm not part of it. And we would always want to know But I was privileged. Hallelujah. I was privileged. No, don't worry, I was never allowed to stay in. But I was privileged. Now, privilege came about through pain because my grandmother was sick, was on a wheelchair, as you know. And so, umgcotshwa will always come up home, amlethele iphasika. Which means when we leave the service, abantu bonke bephuma abangezukudla, we would go home, siyolungisa iphasika. So umgcotshwa mayiqeda la ezokhuphuka ke ezekhaya ezokwamkelisa umama iphasika. And so I would get to observe ukwamkelwa kwephasika, and the privilege was watching my grandmother and the humility. Umgcotshwa uma ehubalela uhubo lokuthi khiphani izono ngoba ngeke niye ekhaya beguqile betabeni. It was one of the hymns she loved. And I would observe the humility and the solemnity and the respect that she gave. There was a dishcloth that was exclusively for into zephasika that was kept white, So everything was exclusive and special. And we knew ukuthi umgcotshwa uyafika ekhaya zokhuleka but uma izophi iphasika. This is a moment where you are not even supposed to be in the kitchen where she is and she's receiving. But it gave me at least an early start because I got to understand the sacredness of these things. And many of us, where we observed privilege spiritually, where our parents would fast, our parents would pray, our parents would offer, all of these things that they were leading by example, bezenza, they were building compound interest for our spirituality, such that today, when I have to walk my walk of faith, angiqali phansi angifundi izinto ngiyazi ukuba kwenzekani because isemzweni yegazi ukuthula kwabangcwele ukuthula kubazalwane, which is important for any parent. Noma ngabe kuthiwa wena ke uyaqala ukholwa, but it is important for any parent ukuthi abantwana bakho bakubone wenza into zokholwa. Hallelujah. Abazali omama ikakhulukazi they struggle. Omama abanengane abantwana abaningi bakhuliswe ethempelini uthi umntwana uyaganga. Umama akakwazi nokukhuleka kahle ethempelini ngoba uthi uma ekhuleka ingane ibhisi mvula amehlo imdonsa uma ehlelwa umoya khona ingane yembamba iyakhala yenza konke. But kahle umama is building compound interest because as much as this child doesn't understand, umama uma ekhala uyakhala naye kwenze njani uma wami awukwazi nokuthi ukhuleke uma uvula iBhayibheli uyafunda yelibamba iBhayibheli yalilisa kanje. But what you are doing awuzohlala ekhaya uthi hayi ngihlushwa ingane mina enkonzweni yiza naye enkonzweni ngoba as you are doing all of these things ekubambe kwenza konke, you are building interest for them. Ukuthula kwabangcwele, ukuthula kubazalwane, you are giving them an early start. When they grow up, they'll sit on the chair themselves and they will pray like you prayed, and they will speak in tongues like you spoke in tongues, and they will say, I remember my mama, for she taught me well. I remember my mama with a happy heart. Ukuthula makubekile. Ukuthula kwabangcwele. Ukuthula kubazalwane. I'm on this point of privilege. Privilege gives us confidence. Privilege gives us confidence. And so when you are privileged and you know it, if you are privileged and you know it, clap your hands. Hallelujah. If you are privileged and you know it, tap your feet. When you are privileged and you know it, you walk with confidence. Because you know, Uguti, I am not equal to. You know, Uguti, I am not equal to. And this is the thing I end up to back. There is a knowing in you. It's not about boasting. Understand this, it comes with humility as well. But it boosts your confidence. Privilege, once you know it, you've got it, it boosts your confidence. Even when you get a no, You say thank you and you walk away with a smile. Not with grief and a long face and you because you know what, I didn't get it, but I've got more. And there are others that will come. Privilege gives you the confidence. And so today we stand here on privilege.